Okay, looks like we are live. Hi and welcome, everyone. So, we're doing a 3-day challenge together. I am very happy that all of you are here. Um, First of all, I just want to say use the chat, please. Any questions, any thoughts, reflections that you want to share. For those of you seeing this on YouTube, there's a delay, just so you know. So I won't see anything you write in the chat immediately. But if you have patience, I will get there. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Filippa. I am a co-founder of Moonrise, which the other co-founder is my husband. And we all started Moonrise together because of pelvic floor dysfunction experiences ourselves. So we are now today many teachers at Moonrise, helping other women to heal because we have healed ourselves and we know women can heal with the right support and method. And when I was planning this 3-day challenge, I'm like, 3 days, it's just 3 days, but it's great. It's 3 days, and for anyone who's done nothing up till now, 3 days is huge. It's amazing. And at the same time, for anyone who's struggling with the routine or maybe overdoing the routine, 3 days is also a great kind of reset to really reflect on, am I on the right path here? And that's what we're going to talk about today, because as the first day, I was like, 3 days, it's just 3 days. I really need to boost with so much. And it's so interesting that even I think like this, despite that I know the fact that doing too much will slow down the healing. Like what most of us do need when we heal is rest. It's rest, it's to do less. And sometimes that is also regarding different methods and different exercises that we are doing. Sometimes we need to take a complete break. And I think we talk probably too little about that. I mean, when I say we, especially, I think teachers like at Moonrise or anyone when it comes to healing, because it very fast becomes something you need to do and check off of your list, to-do list. And to-do lists, we all have in today's society. There's no shortage of to-do lists. So therefore, I was like, okay, what is going to be the absolutely most beneficial thing to talk about day one on a 3-day challenge? Well, I think I like starting with just making sure that we have moved away any kind of potential mistakes that we are doing. Because so very often women who try to heal comes into different loops of doing things in ways that they have always been doing, right? We have a behavior, and of course that behavior, many behaviors, as we age, and most of us are not super young anymore, like we're not teenagers developing behaviors. We have had behaviors for so long, and it's like into our spine in how we act and react and do things. So I really, really think starting from this perspective can give you so much realization on the coming journey, which will definitely be longer than 3 days. But this perspective, if you don't have this perspective on avoiding these mistakes, you're not going to heal. And that's really how it is. I wish I could say, come to me, I'll heal you. I'll heal everyone because I know the pain of having pelvic floor problems. But the reality is, if you really want your body to heal, and if you want to make that happen, you have to own that journey. So, therefore, this day of the challenge is going to be a little bit more theoretical, or like a concept that I am going to present through these mistakes that you want to avoid. The 3 mistakes. I summarized it in 3 mistakes so that you will kind of keep it in your brain, very accessible, so you can be your own detective and be like, maybe I'm doing that thing now that Philippa said I shouldn't be doing, because it's very sneaky. It comes into you and your life and your routines, and suddenly it's there and you're not seeing progress, but you just feel stuck and you feel you're doing everything right, but you're not. So today we are going to talk about that. Tomorrow will be I love this type of exploring with the fascia. It's a fascia journaling exercise, which I haven't done on this channel before. So we're going to explore, and that will be really coming into the body, and a great exercise to do daily, or maybe more like weekly, but a few times every week. Further ahead, so you can keep that one. And then Abby on Wednesday, my Hypopressives teacher, who I turned to crying every single time we met because I thought I will never get rid of the prolapses that I was experiencing. So yeah, she will do the 3rd day of the challenge, and with the focus on hypopressives and alignment, and because she's just so amazing on that subject, and she's such a good teacher. I'm so blessed to have her on my team today. So that's the 3-day challenge. That is the plan. And after we're done with the exercises and today the talking, I am going to go through all the questions in the chat. And you don't need to ask specifically about what I've been talking about. You can ask about anything that is related to healing the pelvic floor. And according to me, like, nothing is not related to that in life. If you see it from that perspective, I mean, your whole life is affected by the pelvic floor if you have problems. So everything is connected to that. Okay, so let me start with the 3 mistakes. The first one, which is like, and I have not talked about this before, which makes me like, oh, I'm going to put the word on this. Let me see how I can phrase it so that it becomes as clear as possible. Most of you have heard my journey. I have a video on this channel. I write about it in different places on our blogs and stuff. But I don't know who many remember that I had this outbreak of anger in the process before I started to heal, and before I decided to don't give a shit about the medical system's advice and so on. What happened for me was I had an outrage. I was just angry and furious. I was not able to hold that anger in. And it shifted everything for me. And whenever I think about the journey that I've been through, there's so much to talk about, because it was more than a 2-year journey. If you count from when I had the actual injuries, it was more like a 5-year maybe journey. And there's so much to say. But sometimes when I really take the time to look back and think about this whole journey in a clear way, this one moment, without it, Moonrise would not have existed. I would not have healed. Because what happened was I was feeling let down for years and years. I was doing Kegels. I was really trying to get help. I went to Sweden's best physiotherapist and like for women's health. I did everything I thought that I could find. And at this point, I woke up one day, I was so extremely angry because I felt so extremely let down. And I felt it was so ironic and just depressing to think about that women have been doing this. Like what I had just done was giving birth, or quite recently, within a few years. And I was like, why is the society not able to help here? So what happened here was I went from pacified to active or activated. I was furious about this situation, and through this anger, because I let it move through me, I was screaming, I was punching, I told my husband to leave the house with the kids, and I was just all over the place in the bedroom with only soft things. Like I was just, it was a hard workout. Like I had not moved my body after giving birth the second time at all this way. So I was just sweating. I was just drained after this kind of session. I don't know how long it was, probably less than an hour, but it was like I took smaller breaks and then I could find this fire in me again. And I was just like, all over the place. And it was such an important process. I mean, if it wouldn't have happened, I would not have healed. I'm super 100% sure. Because a commitment grew. So when I was finally flat on the floor, like crying, sweating, just feeling empty, finally, I wasn't that angry, but overwhelmed for sure. And then it was like, after this fire explosion, it was like, I don't know if you've seen like when snow just comes gently down. It was like snowflakes landing on top of me, in my system, and so on, just covering me. I started to feel something within me that I could really trust. And I had not been able to trust anyone on this journey. Even though like my husband, he was so supportive, but he was like, we can go to the best clinics in Switzerland. They can give you a surgery. I was like, no, like I understand you want to support me, but it's still within this frame. Like I could probably already sense that there was something else. I don't need to move within this. I can explore something else. So I know now that if this moment wouldn't have happened, and if I did not channelize my emotions this way, I wouldn't have been as committed. Because I had so many doubts. For more than 2 years, I had to be like my own coach, my own supporter. I didn't know, like I couldn't find anywhere on the internet. Like I find a piece of article about hypopressives in one corner, and then in another corner I found some lady saying that like healing the nervous system could affect prolapse. And I was like, oh, I'm putting the pieces together. My motivation had to be so high. And sometimes I'm feeling like, I have this YouTube channel for free out there with everything. I put everything there, everything, and you can just go heal. Like if I would have found that and that's why I created it, I want women to find this information. But I also feel like it's very hard because so many women reach out to me every week. I get so many comments on videos. I get emails. I get questions from women showing that they are still pacified. And this is the thing. going from pacified to activated. And I understand I probably too would have asked someone if I could have found someone like myself, like someone who had healed, who was really accessible. I would have definitely asked, do you think I can do this and this exercise? This question I get a lot, as you can imagine. And the thing is, what we need to finally come to is to ask our own bodies these questions. Again, I would love to be here to heal you. I would love to be able to like put my hand on you and like, ooh, you're healed, you're done, it's over. But I can't. So you need to take ownership. And this is the thing. How do you take ownership? Complete 100% ownership. Like imagine you couldn't ask me a question. I don't know if all of you have ever asked, probably not. But if you're thinking like, I need so much support, like there's so many questions all the time on how to do this. And even questions like, I talk a lot about listen to your body. This is this is the key. If you can listen to your body, you can heal for sure, because your body will guide you. So sometimes people not only ask questions about, can I do this exercise? Sometimes people also ask, I have pain when I do this exercise. Shall I keep on doing it? And I understand where you come from, and we all grew up thinking that a doctor will know better about your health than yourself. That's why you go to the doctor, you get an advice, and you follow that. So I think it's from that. It's not that any woman is wrong or is not knowledgeable or is not like just normal. But I can't stress enough that we need to reclaim, and I am here to support you. I love asking your questions. I mean, we're going to have an FAQ in a few moments. So it's not like I'm not inviting you to do that. But I really want to encourage here that you listen, like you take more ownership. And the actual mistake to avoid here is to not be doing this. And I also said that I'm gonna encourage you to do something that will work instead for each mistake. So for this one, I would encourage you to find ownership for your body. Okay, that's very like, how do I do that? So I want to try something with you, and I would love to hear back from you if you do this and how it works for you. Because maybe not all of you will feel the same type of anger as I did. It was very like good timing for me that I had so much anger. I processed it, I channelized it, and came kind of out on the other side with a complete shift in my mindset. And it's that shift that I want to be happening for all of you too, so that you can feel like the strong, independent woman that you really are, truly inside. I know she's there. I know she's there for you. So I would like to invite all of you to do a ritual for yourself, for your commitment. And how your ritual looks like, I think will be very different for each individual. So if you are religious, maybe you want to do it in a setting of a religious ritual, like what you may be already doing regularly, however you do rituals, or do a prayer, say a prayer, or anything like that. Or maybe you want to do it in a completely opposite or like different way from, even if you are tied to a religion. Maybe you're already using crystals, or you're into different types of meditations, or journaling, gratitude, whatever tools you already have that maybe you can be using, but do it as a really nice ceremony for yourself, showing your commitment. So even though maybe you're not experiencing those emotions that may shift your mindset, maybe you can create what to say, like an atmosphere or something that at least you will carry this with you on this healing journey. And it's almost, many of you I know have given birth. Almost like when you have given birth, you just have this, of course, biological, but also mindset reaction of, I will take care of this baby. Like I would do anything, everything. And people really do like stay awake throughout the night to check that this baby is breathing. Like, what a commitment. And could you be like 10% of that commitment to your own body, you will be able to heal. If you could be that attentive, if you could just create a passage for yourself where you are here today, you want to shift and be more committed. And it does not mean that then after that you can't ask Philippa any questions. It's not about that. But you can reflect more. What questions are actually relevant? Because so many women ask questions which are fear-based. It's like, can I do this exercise? I don't know, and I don't want to think about it. I just feel limited. Like it's scary. And by the way, my answer to that question is it depends. So that's another thing. Like, I would never say one answer for all women when it comes to recommendations or advice, because we're all different. And I hope you can understand now how I am thinking about all of this. And I'm going to move on to the second mistake. It's actually like, I feel this mind shift, ownership of your body, feeling completely 100% responsible, like as if you had a newborn baby for your own healing journey. This is like the first mistake. And then actually those other two I'm going to talk about is what those are what I usually see women, like if they don't do this first thing, then they tend to be in one of these two. And the first one is doing too much. I've already mentioned it. We all have to-do lists. And for many women who are trying to heal, and especially, I mean, I have a lot of methods and I share a lot of thoughts on my YouTube channel. Also at Moonrise, like we have many different types of modalities and methods. And we want it to feel inspiring, like a smörgåsbord, as we would say in Swedish. Like I have so many options, and each one can pick the one they feel is mostly beneficial at this moment for this, like for their body, for their situation. But many times this becomes overwhelming instead. And many women feel stressed trying to do as many things as possible, because so many women out there, and also with pelvic floor dysfunction, are good girls. I guess it's a term, right? Not only in Swedish. I'm just, yeah. So good girls are the girls or women who are doing everything correctly, like, and they have neglected the signals of the body for many, many years to be there for other people. Like, it's a really nice, good intention, but it's going to break down the body sooner or later. So being there for others, doing like what was according to the plan, always following exactly, structured, doing a lot, being effective, doing it very well, all of these things. And my friend the other day, she has these tendencies, and she was just like, I am coming into my like a teenager vibe here now, because I don't give a fuck about anything, and it feels so good. And for her, it's so big to say that. It's huge because she has never ever been able to let go of things, and she's very like, she runs her own business, she's super successful, and she's very structured, and everything is in place and thought through and perfect and all of that. So if we could do less on the healing journey, especially if we have these tendencies, that's great. And with the responsibility that I was talking about, with the ownership, that comes naturally. We won't overdo things. And the other one is to not do anything at all. And that's, so this is the third mistake, to kind of get stuck in a freeze. Like, this is so overwhelming, I don't know where to start, I'm just not going to do anything. Or maybe you are trying and you're not thinking that out loud, but your actions reflect that type of mindset, because you just feel it's too much. So each time you try to come into a routine, each time you try a new method, or try something, it ends up with being kind of nothing. So it's a very hard balance here, to find the way forward if you're not rooted in yourself and feel, 100% inside of yourself that you can heal. That's another common question. Like, women write to me the diagnosis that they've had, and then the question on the end is, do you think I can heal? And it's a very hard and tricky question, not because of the diagnosis, but because the woman herself is asking this. And she's not sure if she can heal, apparently. And even if I would say, yes, I think you can heal, that may not shift her mind enough to feel that, yeah, I am, yeah, okay. She may not have the same shift as I had after that explosion of anger. And I am not saying that everyone will have an explosion of anger to realize this. I think it can happen in as many ways as there are women on this healing journey. And I think you can create it for yourself. And that is why I really encourage you to do some kind of ceremony for yourself and your body. It doesn't have to be for your pelvic floor, because this whole communication is from your whole body. If you want to heal, you need to include your whole body. And again, I would highly recommend, if you can recognize yourself in any of the second or third mistake, or maybe if you haven't even started on your healing journey, maybe you're like, I would probably fall into that or that, then let go of everything. Take a day, a week, a month, figure out a setting, a ceremony for yourself, dedicate yourself. And it's almost like, probably, if not a religious ceremony, it's definitely a spiritual one, because you need to dedicate yourself to something higher. You won't be able to do this on your own. Because if we just stay with ourselves, we will be eaten up by all the thoughts saying, you will never heal. This is worse now than a week ago, even though you did all the breathing exercises. Like, everyone else can heal but you. And it's probably because you had that surgery, or you had that episiotomy, or you have these hormonal imbalances, or blah, blah, blah. We're going to be eaten up by that. So we need to commit to something else, like to something that we can really, really trust and dedicate ourselves to. And whatever that is for you, you need to figure out. And I would love to hear, again, any ideas and thoughts and experiments or ceremonies that you are actually creating based on what I've told you. I've been talking a lot, but that's my 3 mistakes I hope and that I want you to avoid. And then you only need to do one thing now. You don't have to do 3 things to avoid these 3 mistakes. If you do number 1 in a very passionate, dedicated way, you will solve so many problems along the road of healing. Okay, so now I want to invite you. Now everybody's like, I don't dare to ask any questions at all because I've been talking about, asking questions. And it's not fully true. I get great questions, by the way, from women, and especially in this format, which is community. I love when women ask me things because it means other women can also relate to the question, feel that woman asking the question, relate to her, and then thinking about how to translate it into her own world and life, which is healing in itself. You don't necessarily even need to do anything, but community is healing, and science shows that. So it's very generous of anyone who's asking a question today or sharing a reflection, sharing in anything. And it's not about giving advice to others. It's not about having answers or being perfect. And again, I don't think any question is dumb. I just feel certain questions that I get a lot, like regularly every week, kind of shows which state women are in when it comes to their mindset about healing. So that was the only thing I really wanted to make super, super clear, because I want you all to heal. That's why I am here. Otherwise, I would have been with my kids now. But I know the pain. It's awful. So I am here for you. So please go ahead and write in the chat if you have any questions or sharings, reflections. Okay, yeah, I have some, I can see something here in, I thought I would get all the chat messages in one page, but I didn't. Okay, so there are some Swedish questions here. One of them, if I'm going to do this in Swedish, and maybe we'll see about that. So here's a question. Is it good to have a resting day sometimes in your hypopressives routine? And now I would be really interested in like what is going on in all of your heads now. How would you reply to yourself after hearing me talk the last 30 minutes? What, like, if all of you could just close your eyes, and how do you relate to this question? Is it a good idea to have like a resting day in your hypopressives routine, which we usually recommend you to do 10 minutes every day? So just close your eyes and see what comes up for you. This is the work. So if you are going to be responsible for your own body, similar to how you would be responsible for a baby you gave birth to, what advice would you give yourself, or what answer to this question? So just, if you want to, you can just breathe also here. If you want to, I mean, all of us are breathing all the time. You can put your hands on your ribs. Just take 3 lateral breaths here. Deep down into the bottom of your lungs. One last breath. And feel as you exhale how you let go of any tension in your jaw, shoulders, forehead, and eyes. And if you want to continue listening just with your eyes closed, please do. I think it's a great idea to have a resting day, especially if you're asking that question. Probably it's something that maybe your body has asked or craved and is asking you for. And so most of us need more rest. I know that I talk a lot about, and many other teachers too, it's so important with a routine. 10 minutes every day for hypopressives, for example. And it is great with a routine, but it's even more important to each day actually feel your body. And maybe you're too tired one day, or maybe you just don't want to do it one day, or maybe you're sick one day. Then it's easier because you have a clear communication from your body. But all of these, like, and okay, now the tricky part also is we don't want to have this type of thing happening every day and suddenly you're not doing hypopressives. So I would really, really spend a moment each day to check in with your body, asking yourself, what is it that my body needs? And maybe it's a meditation instead, or just resting, or doing some fascia work, or what do I know? Go to the cinema and watch a movie, or I don't know, spend time with your grandkids, whatever it is. So yes, I think it's a great idea, even though I know there's a rigid communication around, being continuous, having a continuity with your practice, and it's really important. And we need to be able to break that now and then. Yeah, so someone missed the beginning. Can I watch this video later? Yes. On my YouTube channel, there will be a replay. I am postmenopausal. Can I still heal? So this is also, I know that many of you may have missed the beginning. But again, see if, again, we can close our eyes and just breathe. So continue with the lateral breathing that we just did, if you're able to. And an important factor when it comes to healing, and this is crucial information for you to know. The body does not care about certain things. It does not care about any diagnosis. A diagnosis is just words that someone has put probably on a paper and told you. Another thing the body does not care about at all is age. It's a number. The body doesn't care about age. The body does not care about what you've been through. It may be that you have trauma stuck in your body. or different thought processes that are not beneficial for you, that are like not constructive, maybe the opposite. There may be things in your body that is blocking flow, but your pure body does not care about what you've been through. Your body wants to heal. That's the function of the body. That is how we were made. It's just different scenarios, situations, communications, culture, society that has made us thought that we are not capable of this. But we are. We were made for healing. The body is always searching for something called homeostasis, which is like a balance in the body. Every single cell wants to function optimally. And if they do, we don't have any diseases or dysfunctions in the body. And we can help with that. So, yes, I think even if you're menopausal, you can heal. Okay, so let's see. I'm doing the 12-week program and realized that I need to do a lot more relaxing. Good. Also, menopause is really affecting my life. Sleepless nights, sweats, vaginal walls becoming lax. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of challenges. My question is, no 3 was not doing anything at all. Number 3 was not doing anything at all. So I feel a bit unsure what to do next. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's of course a mistake to not do anything to heal. Like we need to do things. And this is kind of ironic because we need to rest, but we also need to do things, to take steps forward, to be productive or active in our healing journey. Otherwise, we're not gonna move forward. But I would really, really suggest that to find the way forward, we need to connect with ourselves. And usually because we listen too much to experts around us, we think they have the answers. So if we could instead, and give it time, it may take more than an hour or a day or a week or a month. Just sit still. And wherever you find your thoughts to wander or your curiosity to move toward to help support your body, you go in that direction. So if you see any methods that I talk about, or you find anything that you feel is really like intriguing for you, you are curious, then just go that path. And for many women I know, you know, it's spending time in nature. And that's maybe the best place to start. And then you realize, I also want to do like breathing and hypopressives, and you add that. And then you add something else. And you do it really slowly. Like most of us are on this journey for the rest of our lives. It's not that I don't have any symptoms anymore, and I haven't had for a few years, but I still have a completely shifted mindset around my life. And it's only because of this journey, because I was all into health before I had dysfunction. And it's so easy to be healthy and perfect when you don't have any issues. When you have issues, that's when you learn. So take this opportunity, but listen to your body while doing it. And it's okay to do mistakes. It's okay to do the wrong method. As soon as you realize it, you shift. You stop, maybe you take a break, and then you're at it again. I just need to put in my charger now because I have low battery. And then I'll take the next question. Mhm. Sorry. Mm, okay. Yeah. Uh, So, Philippa, you have presented this really well. Thanks. Thank you. I will confirm that I've been on this program and it's been a game changer for me. It has taught me to make some time for just my well-being. That's amazing. I'm so happy for that. True that the most important part is to have a positive mindset that you will heal. Focus on a higher power, the spiritual aspect. Be consistent with practice 10 minutes each day and slowly build up. Amazing. I'm so happy. Thank you, Hazel. I think, yeah, that's spot on actually. And probably like from your perspective and your words, and another woman maybe would have used different sentences, which is completely fine. But this seems to be a really nice balance. Thank you for your tireless strength and inspiration for me. I will take another step and start training seriously. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Inger. Uh, okay, sorry, my message got cut off. I just wanted to say that I am still having improvement, especially from the hypopressives exercises. Amazing, Dee. Congratulations. This is so good, Filippa. I'm in the 12-week program and I will definitely do a ceremony. Beautiful. Thank you, Eva. And Caroline, there are some new ideas for me here, but I am wondering, you mentioned hypopressives. Is that just for people with prolapse, or is that also a method for hypertonic pelvic floor? So it's absolutely a method for hypertonic pelvic floor. So hypopressives breathing will be activating your pelvic floor in a holistic way, which means it will activate, but it will also relax the muscles. And it's the slow muscle fibers that we are engaging with, which is impossible to do in any other exercise because the slow muscle fibers are connected to the rib cage, the movement and the positioning of the rib cage. So that then that is how we work with it. It's very important when it comes to hypertonic pelvic floor because there are some tension in the positioning of hypopressives that may be a bit uncomfortable in the beginning when you start to learn the method, and many people find it hard to find balance in the activation in the positions. So, for example, probably you've seen photos of me doing this, or Abby or someone. This is the ballerina arm position, and we want 50% activation in the arms. We want the hands to push forward 50% and the elbows to push outward 50% activation. For many people, they start almost doing this 100%, and especially they need to think about the breathing, they need to think about the rib opening, they need to elongate the spine, keeping your hands and legs and everything in quite weird positions in the beginning. So in that case, if you over tense, there's a risk of creating more tension in the body and the pelvic floor, and we don't want that. So it's just to move slowly, to start with the breathing. Maybe you can wait with the poses, for example, and just really find the breathing, the rib opening, and all of that. But yeah, it's definitely a method for hypertonic pelvic floor, which many women have, and in combination with prolapse too. So that's why it's so great. You can strengthen it, but at the same time relax it through this method. Okay, Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I found you on YouTube. Pelvic floor exercises never worked for me. I do about 20 minutes of hypopressive exercises every day for about 2 years. Thank you again. That's wonderful. Thank you, June. And Mandy is wondering if you've seen improvement. So yeah, you can maybe respond in the chat if you wish. Okay, so that's all the questions I can see right now. I'm going to look at the other chat and just see if I have missed anything. I don't know if this chat is... yeah, okay, so this chat also, I think I have not written down. Can you put it on paper, this 3 points that you explained about? After this talking, I almost forget the first thing you told us. I understand. I've been talking a lot. My brain is like... so how do we do this? I think... Yeah, I mean, I can just repeat them now. I think I can also, what I can do is I create a PDF just summarizing the 3 points that I will attach to the replay and on YouTube. So I will do that tomorrow. But yeah, so the first mistake is to not have a mind shift, because we all grew up thinking we were not responsible for our bodies. So we need to put ourselves into that responsibility of the health of our bodies. And that starts with listening to our bodies. So that's the first mistake. And to correct this mistake, I would advise you to create like a ceremony or something, a setting for yourself to be able to shift and take this responsibility to 110%. Do not leave even 0.5% to anyone else. You own your body. And then the second mistake is to do too much. And this, like the second and third mistake I see happens mostly with women who did not have this mind shift, who still feel someone else will heal them. It's doing too much, adding too many methods, spending too much time on healing, and so on. Being like the good girl. And the third mistake is to do too little. Women who are stuck in freeze and can't move forward. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this was back when I did like closing the eyes and asking you if you think you need rest. I would say yes. Fridays, I'm exhausted from work and need to rest, so I don't do them on Friday without feeling bad about not doing them. Amazing, amazing, because for Adele, this was like her schedule and she knows on Fridays she needs a break. She takes it. She stands up for her body and saying, you know, whatever routine is out there and whatever like the experts recommend, this is what I need. That's what you need to do. Sometimes you need to protect yourselves from your teachers. I hope you know what I mean when I say that. Is it possible to do too many exercises in one day, even if they're different, or hypopressives, Feldenkrais, yoga? Great question. So I think so, yes, because it becomes, even that becomes a checklist. So it's more about how you relate to it. It's not about doing the exercises like with your body, but like your soul also just needs a break from being on a healing journey. Like just go do something you enjoy instead. You know, really enjoy. Like maybe you enjoy hypopressives. It's great. But anything you do every day is going to feel like a weekday, if you know what I mean. Like it's going to be there all the time. Just be a little naughty, like just go do something crazy. I don't know what, but just mix it into the whole mix of your already probably perfect routine and just go do something that gives you a different perspective on things. I think sometimes that's more beneficial. But I mean, of course, if you feel great about doing different I'm not saying that doing a lot of exercises and doing this work to a large extent of the hours of the day you have, the hours on a day, like if you do it a lot, I don't think it's wrong. It just depends on who you are and the effect from doing that. Are you getting stressed out of doing this? Like all of checking all these boxes? Or are you feeling so good and you have big realizations almost like from the methods you're doing, and it's different ones, you're feeling so inspired, you're feeling less symptoms and all of that? Of course, go ahead and do it if you really, really enjoy it. So, and that is also going to be different. And that's what we need to be our own detectives for. We need to keep our eyes open and see it clearly if we are kind of just being machines doing this like a, is it called Duracell? Like the Duracell bunny? We have that in Europe. Like it's just, they have batteries and they just walk around like this forever. And we need to break that. We're humans. We're so much more than a rigid schedule. So we can't say this is good and this is bad. There's no such thing when it comes to healing. And that's why it's so hard. Okay, my ritual at the moment is being consistent, doing the moonrise, the moon's exercises. Your advice of doing a ritual is new to me. I love that. Yeah, and I actually had the idea. Thank you. I had the idea just because of this challenge, and for now having this many years of experience with working with women, having these same questions, and I'm like, I think almost at some point in every video I said, everyone can heal, you can heal. And you know, it doesn't matter. The same questions come up again. Like, do you think I can heal? And I'm like, you are unique, but you're also exactly the same. Why wouldn't you be able to heal? I think so. I think all of you can heal. But I don't know if it will happen because it depends on your mindset. And you need that mind shift and you need to take responsibility. Check in with my body is a great idea. Yes, love it. Do it many times as you can every day without it becoming one more to do. That's a tricky one, right? I understand that 10 minutes a day of hypopressives may heal me. Do I need to do any other exercises or will hypopressives be enough? So for when I've worked with women, what I've seen is that I think like 99.99% needs more than just hypopressives. Yeah. Thank you for this interesting and informative session. It's been brilliant, and I will try to incorporate what you have said. Onward and upward. Amazing. Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to check the other chat and then we'll soon come to an end because I've been talking too much. Do you have a link to instructions on the basic mechanics of hypopressives? Well, I don't dare to find that link on my YouTube channel right now because I may like cut off the live. But if you go to my channel and search hypopressives, or I actually like if you go to the channel and you just scroll down, there's a playlist with hypopressives exercises. I do not teach the apnea on YouTube because I do recommend you to have a teacher observing you when you learn. But we do it in the Moonrise programs. Okay, so now June replied, yes, if she has seen benefits from doing hypopressives. Yes, but I don't have prolapse, but I did have bladder control problems, not very serious, but I could feel it slowly getting worse. Okay, so I guess then the bladder control problems got better. That's my interpretation. I'm sorry, June, if I... Now much better. Yeah, the second comment there. Okay, so glad for you. You can't talk too much. Thank you. I'm happy. But actually, I was sick last week and I still have something in my throat. So like I'm pretty tired in my throat right now. But I love talking about this. So I would say if you have more questions, gonna check the other chat one last time. Let's see. Would you mind telling me what are the best exercises to incorporate along with the hypopressives? I would advise you to check out my YouTube channel. Or if you want to join a program at Moonrise, you're more than welcome. But it's very complex, as I hope you've understood based on this. I mean, I have about 30 methods I can start to talk about right now, and I have no idea which would be the best one for you. Only you know that. So you can start to explore, see how you react when you see different methods. If you find something interesting, if you find something awakens your curiosity, you know, go with that. Go with your intuition. You are a member of Moonrise. Amazing, amazing. Then I would love to help you more in a personal way. So you can just email to support@moonrise.health and explain more about where you are. So this is actually a thing. I do advise you to take ownership and everything I've said. And I know that interpreting, like the communication from the body, can be really hard to understand when you're in the beginning of the healing journey, even after a longer period of time, because it takes a lot of time. It's like learning a language. Similar. Say you would like to learn Swedish. Not for the Swedish people here, that's going to be too easy. But, you know, any language, Spanish or Norwegian or whatever. It's going to take time and you need practice. And you need to go to that country and speak. Like you need to really take action on it and practice all the things, grammar, all the different parts of a language. It's the exact same thing with a healing journey. And sometimes it just is so helpful with someone like a teacher who could be there and interpret things with you. You know, you're like, I've done hypopressives now for 3 months and I feel this and this, or I don't feel this and this, and I'm unsure about this, but I'm also thinking maybe this method would be helpful. But then when I tried it, the symptoms was worse, blah, blah. You know, all women have their stories. And I know that it can be so helpful to share your journey and then have someone pick you up, look at it, make a plan, a strategy, and then you go like together. It's not like I am prescribing you like a medicine or a medication, like a recipe of something, or saying you have to do this. It's together. It's like a fruitful conversation where I ask more questions for you to become more clear about your own path. And of course, I help every woman within Moonrise to do that. So you're more than welcome to ask me those kinds of questions. Remember, questions are not bad. Maybe I had a bit of a harsh introduction. Thank you so much, Philippa. Thank you, Philippa. This makes good sense to me. I will reach out on Moonrise. Great. Perfect. I am excited to facilitate your journey. Okay. I did a Moonrise course. I'm not sure about, yeah. Okay, that was not a question. So let's end this this first day of the challenge, and tomorrow it's the same time, So we're back the same time, and we are going to do an exercise. So maybe you don't join. Maybe your plan was to, do a lot of healing modalities and do the 3-day challenge, and it's just too much. Maybe you just want to take a break. The replays will be on YouTube forever. So don't stress about it. But if you feel inspired and you're like, yeah, I want to do a new exercise tomorrow, you're more than welcome to join. So I hope you all have a great day ahead, or evening or morning, wherever you are, and that I see you back tomorrow.